Hello everyone! Today we'll be looking at some basic editing tools in Lightroom Mobile and how best to edit an image with them. So let's have a look at some of the features in Lightroom Mobile that we'll be using today. Crop, light, colour, effects, and detail. Now, as you can see, there are a few more things that we can use, but because this is just a basic tutorial, those are the ones that we're going to be focusing on today. Once you have found an image that you would like to edit, I've got this one here, it's just a little one of a bee on a flower, we'll be ready to edit. So the first tool that we'll be looking at today is crop. Now, if you watched my VSCO editing tutorial, you will see that there are a lot more features that we can use in this crop tool. Firstly, we have cropping aspects. So once you've found out what your phone is, mine is 3x4. They've got 9:16, which is great for Instagram stories and anything on a phone, a wallpaper and such. Now, I want to keep mine in the original one, so we'll just do that. And I don't really think this one needs much doing to it. I think that's perfect. So now let's go on over to light. Now your phone should be quite good at adjusting the light for you when you first take a picture. As you can see, my phone here has done quite a good job of exposing everything that is needed. So as you can see, we can go right up the scale or right down on exposure, but I really don't think that this needs much. And in terms of contrast, we have here, as you can see, it gives it a much punchier vibe or a much faded out film look. I like mine to be a little bit punchy, so we'll bump that up to 10. Highlights. Now this changes anything that is quite bright in your image, as we can see. It really, now not a lot, but it really does just boost where it is bright, even brighter. This would be perfect if you had a sky that's quite blown out, or if you were by something quite shimmery, like the reflection in a body of water, for example. And as you can see on the other scale, going down, it just softens those brighter tones. Shadows. Now this just bumps up the brightness in those shadows. As you can see in that dark bit of the bumblebee, we can see a lot more detail in the darkness, and that's what this does. And you can bring it right down as well. I quite like being able to see quite a bit of detail in the darker tones in my photos, so I've just bumped that up quite a bit. Whites. Now this, as you can imagine, controls the lighter colours in your image, and as you can see, it can really get blown out, or you can really bring it down. I might leave mine about there. And blacks, as you probably guessed, controls the darker tones in your image. So there. I think this is quite similar to contrast in a way, but I don't want mine to be too dark and punchy. There. So let's have a quick look before and after. Such a difference already. Now the next tool that we'll be using is the colour tab right here. Now this controls the temperature of your image, and as you can see, we've got vibrance and saturation here as well. And because this is a basic tutorial, we will not be going on to the black and white or the mix tabs right at the top there. So I think that this, oh my, is quite well adjusted anyway. If anything, it could be a little bit cooler. But as you can see, just by touching just one time down, you can see a visible difference in the colour. Tint, I don't think this photo needs any. Maybe a little bit of purple to bump those flowers up. Vibrance, let's see what that does. Oh my. One thing that I really love with vibrance is that it doesn't take all of the colour of the photo out. So unlike saturation, where it just goes into black and white, and then, oh, that's a bit too much. It just desaturates it, but doesn't take all of the colour out, which I love. So where it's really yellow there in the centre, you can still see some of that, and I think that looks so lovely. But I think, oh, let's go for a little bit of a de-vibrance. See, already just little touches here and there of little bits of basic editing, and the image just looks so much brighter already. Now let's go on to effects. Now there are quite a few ones on effects, but we shall go through all of them. We won't be going through the split tone effect here at the top, but I'll run through everything quickly for you now. Now texture is quite similar to clarity. It just gives everything, as you can imagine, a bit more texture. Adobe have named these features very well, haven't they? And then taking that down, as you can see, it softens the image, which is quite nice actually. If you're doing very stylistic photos, that could be really lovely. I just like to give mine a little bit of punch. There. Clarity. Clarity is very good for words. So if you are photographing something with words in, clarity is the one to do, because that's quite good. As you can see, all the way up the scale. That's not the look I'm kind of going for at the moment. And then all the way down, oh my. So I do like to just bump a little bit of clarity in there. Not too much, like as you can see, we're on 6. Not a lot, but it does the job. Dehaze. Now, this is very good. I use this quite a lot on desktop, but this is fantastic if you have fog in your picture, or if you're taking quite a cloudy image. This really does bring out those kind of unseen elements in your photo, and it's really exciting to kind of use that if you have an image that needs it, because then you get to see your photo in a completely different light. It's incredible. I think it's probably best used for travel photos rather than something like this, a bee. Oh, it's just started to rain. Can you hear? Right, so let's show you what dehaze does. As you can see, it really just quite dark contrast, but this is probably the wrong photo to use for this, but it is incredible for more landscape based photos, but I don't think we'll use any of that here. Vignette. In my Visco tutorial last time, we talked a bit about vignette, and that is basically just adding kind of a frame of dark or light around your image. And I do think it does look quite unnatural for an image like this. I do find, like, unless you are focusing on a subject, not necessarily outdoors, they're best used for travel photos or something that is quite naturally dark. Whereas in something like this was taken in like midday, full sunshine. So having something, oh, wrong one. So having something like that would just look so unnatural, because I'm like, where is that darkness coming from? So just, don't want that. There. So the next and last tool we'll be going on here is detail. Now this controls your sharpening. As you can see here, we can have it super duper sharp. Look at those details on that bumblebee, my God. And let's see what that looks like close up. But so you can see that there is quite a difference. I don't like my photos too sharp personally. Oh, there we are. Let's take that back there. But I do like to see a bit of detail, so I might have that about there, I think. Now, we won't be looking at radius or detail or masking or noise reduction or any of those other things actually. And that's the end of the tutorial. Very short and very sweet this time. And as you can see, just by using some basic tools, we can really change an image and really bring out some details, some darkness back out of there. And once you learn these basic skills, you'll be able to just change how your photos look completely. This is a really good basis of then learning and developing a visual style for your photos and aesthetic. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. I'll see you again next time.